Hey everybody, I'm working on the antenna for this thing, and the way I'm going to do it is on the top of that wooden case. I'm going to drill a small round hole, and I'm going to put in an 8-pin tube socket, and I'm going to use this idea that we got from John from Arkansas. Really brilliant. Smart man he is. So anyway, I have a relay case here, and what I've done is I've removed all the insides. And you'll see that there's a wire. Let me see if I can get this in the frame there. There you go. So there's a black wire coming off of pin 1. And all I really do is I drill a hole in the top. And I drilled a hole right here. And let's see if you can see that close up. So basically, I have 2 screws as a spacer, making it flush. And then I have a ground star lug going directly to there. And I've ohmed it out. And I get connectivity straight through. So in order to make this not look too cheesy, what I'm going to do is I'm going to spray paint this brown so it matches the cabinet. So that's the antenna, and I'm going to have to mask all this off with tape and stuff. But I'm going to spray paint this brown, and that will be on top of the cabinet, and that'll be our antenna. And the reason why I like this, John is really smart, like I said, because if this antenna ever breaks, I'm just going to replace it. Take the screw out, take these 2 screws off the bottom, take the screw out, put a new antenna in, and boom, done. Real simple. Plus, it's easy to take in and out if you're moving it. So that's the plan. So I'll mask this thing off, and I'll show you what it looks like when it's done. And just like that, it's painted brown. Looks good. All right, that's cool. And it's good because that screw now is painted, because that screw will have the 300 volts going through it. Or at least coming through that cap. So that's good. So now we're going to let this thing dry, and won't stick out like a sore thumb when it's on top of that wooden cabinet now. So we're going to let this cure. It's going to have to sit for a couple days. Anyway, that's that. Let's see what else we got. So the other thing we're working on today is the cabinet. And you'll see that I've replaced the grill cloth here. This is where the speaker was. Obviously there's not going to be a speaker inside this. But I've used a Fender piece that I had it's a Fender amp. It's a piece of oxblood cloth. I took out the dial glass and I cleaned that. Let's take a look on the inside. I had to put a new piece of cardboard in there. That cardboard that was in there was disintegrated, and it's been tacked in, as you can see that. And basically the dial glass is there. So this, I also went over the cabinet with bry wax. You know, I don't want it to look new, just want it to be a little more antique looking. So that's that. I also finished taking the tape off of this thing. So this is going to be the antenna. You can see how nice that looks. So that's going to match really nice with the cabinet. So that'll be sticking out of the top somewhere. So we got that. So we're on our way. I also wrapped the coil today. Let me show you what that looks like. So just like the other one I did, I used one of those Folgers containers. And there's 155 revolutions of 24 gauge wire, I think it is. Yep. And that's already been mounted to the chassis. And if you take a look underneath, you can see that I have it secured with 2 screws, one here and one here. And you'll see that I actually have one wire connected already. So one of the wires comes off of that coil and goes to pin 3 of the 6L6 tube, and that's right here. And then this capacitor right here is the 0.01 that goes to the antenna. And I can show you that in the schematic. It's actually right here. So here's the 6L6, the plate goes right to that coil, and then up through that 0.01 cap, and then out to the antenna. So that part's done already. This side here goes to the connection where the 10K resistor goes, and the positive side of the second 47 microfarad cap, which is right here. So once I have that 10K cap, I'll be able to install the other side. So that much is pretty much done here. You can see I still have plenty of room underneath. I could mount terminal strips anywhere I need to. I've got plenty of room to get the rest of the stuff in there. So we're making some good progress. All right, that's it for this one. Let's see what else we got. Okay, one thing I want to show you here, and I'm holding the camera, and I try to keep it steady, is I've painted this faceplate here. This faceplate was kind of like a purplish, reddish, maroonish color, and it was peeling and chipped. And I used an acrylic paint on that. It's right here, and it's Artist's Loft acrylic, and it's burnt umber. And I've gotten that all painted, and that's going to look sharp. And I also painted the dial pointer with a pearl white paint, so that's going to stand out real nice. It's going to look good. You'll also notice that I have an additional control sticking out here. So I don't have it on this side. There was 4 in this radio. There was 2 here and 2 here, and I've got this control sticking out. And what that control is going to be our maximum power switch right there. It's a simple on-off switch. That's exactly what I have here. On, off. So I'm going to be able to do the power switch coming out of the front of the radio as well. All that really means is that for this one, which I can't put the control there because I have the coil, L1 coil back there, and that's going to be impossible to put the knob there. So what I'll do is I do have the extra knob, one of these, and I'll just put a little dab of hot glue behind it and stick it to the cabinet. So that's that. Let me show you underneath the chassis, and then I'll show you the case, and then I'll show you the resistors that I got in today. Be right back. Okay, so here's what we have under the chassis so far. You'll notice this is the switch I told you about for the power switch. And I've got 2 wires that are running up here. I'm going to tuck them close to the chassis with some hot glue. And I've got them running up to a terminal strip right here, if you could see that, right in there. And that connects up through the 6L6 tube. I also have this 22 microfarad cap. This end is going to the B- rail, and then the other side of it is going to the 6L6 as well. Let me see if I can bring this up a little bit. There you go. I really don't have a lot of connections left to make. So this cap right here goes to the output transformer. Can you see that? Maybe not. Let's go up a little bit more. There you go. This cap right there goes to the output transformer. That's not connected yet. This cap right here goes to the antenna. This connection right here goes to the 10K resistor. And this connection right here goes to the 10K resistor. And look what we got today. 10K resistors. So the next step is going to be to install that resistor in here neatly, and we're going to get that done. And I'll do that after this video. I'm not going to include it. So just looking at the schematic, you'll see I really don't have a lot left to do. So I've got to get this 10K resistor in place here. I have to add a 33 microfarad cap, and then I just need to connect all this, and I already have these connections hanging out ready. And then the last thing I need to do is get this 10 meg resistor to ground, or B-, and then get the output transformer to pin 5. And then connect up through this 0047, which I showed you. So we're in the home stretch here. For the last shot of this video, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the cabinet on the table and show you what that looks like from a distance. And this way you could see what that dial plate looks like. So let me go do that. Be right back. Okay, so here's the cabinet, and you can see that oxblood grill cloth looks really, really sharp. There's my dial glass. I'm going to have a control here. I'm going to have one here. I'm going to have one here, and here's where I'm going to hot glue the dummy in. There's the antenna I'm going to use. Now right now I just have a couple of clips on it and I have it resting on top. There's going to be a tube socket that gets mounted right on the top of that box, and this thing is going to plug right into it. Let me show you. Let me get these clips off here. And you'll see this is nicely painted brown, matches real nice, and this will simply plug right into the socket right there. Now I was thinking about it. If I really wanted to, I could mount it on the side as well. I could do it like this and have that sticking up on the side. But I thought that that probably looks a little too modern for what I'm trying to go for. So I think I'm going to stick with the top. But I would welcome your recommendations. You like it better on top or on the side? I can put it anywhere I want. So, so we're making a lot of progress with this thing. It looks really sharp. I did go over this with bry wax and steel wool, so thank you, Gary, for that. And I think it's going to look real nice when that radio's in there and it lights up. And by the way, I did order plastic bayonet sockets that I'm going to use for the light bulbs, so that they don't, and they're marine sockets, so they won't melt. And I can attach those in the same spot, and I won't have to worry about them being grounded to the chassis. So good stuff there. So I'm going to end this video right now. That's where we are, and we're in the home stretch here. The only thing I don't have is the output transformer, and I'm getting that tomorrow. So once that's done, this thing's going to get its first fire up, and you'll be the first to see it. Okay? Have a great night, everybody. This is Ron.